Hi, it's Elaine with MCPS Technology. Today let's talk about grading assignments in Google Classroom. Like everything else in Google Classroom, it's super easy to do. When you're in your course as an instructor, it's easy to find your assignments, and there's actually more than one way to find them. Just like everything in Google, there's more than one way to do it. You know your assignments live in the stream, and you can always find them. For example, here is an assignment that involves MoveNote, and you recognize this because you've done this assignment if you're watching this video. So I could just click on it from here in the stream, but this is probably not the most efficient way for me to find and grade my assignments because the stream keeps moving. I could also find my work, my submissions, under main menu, but if I'm teaching more than one course, which I am, then that becomes, that's sort of an extra step there as well. The very easy way to find the assignments that I need to grade is here in this little box. Just like for students, when I click on View All, it takes me to a page, and notice the headings at the top. I have To Review and I have Reviewed. I can also filter this by class. Right now I have it set to Google Classroom, the Basics and Beyond, but I could also filter it for other classes that I'm teaching. So here I can see all the assignments that I have not yet put in the reviewed area. Now I know I'm finished with one or two of these. For example, if I look down here at the instructor practice creating a course, I know that I've already finished grading these, and so I can click on these three dots and I can mark this as reviewed. So what that does is it removes it from this list and puts it in my reviewed list. So that way my to review list does not get cluttered with things that I've already looked at. So if I'm sure that I'm finished with an assignment, I can simply mark it as reviewed. And when I'm ready to grade an assignment, I can go there very easily by just clicking on the name of the assignment. So in this case, if I click on the reflection for Unit 1, this is a question type assignment. So I won't see any documents related to it, but I will see all my students' responses here, and I can also see replies that other students have made. Now check out a few things on this page. So this is the grading page, and notice I have all my students listed here on the left. I can sort them based on last name, first name, or by done and not done status. Up here I can change the point value of this assignment if I want to. I probably would not do that. I could click on ungraded, and because I've already started grading this, I probably would not want to change the point value at this stage because that would mean some of the students were getting different point values. But if I had not started grading this yet and I wanted to change the point value, I could. At this time, Google Classroom does not support letter grades. So if you have a letter grade, then you need to equate that somehow to a number grade. It defaults to 100 points. So I can see on this list that I've already graded some of my students, and there's still a few that I need to grade. So I'm going to read these responses, and I actually have already read them. So I'm going to go ahead and give these students 100 for their reflection. And down here are the students who have not yet turned in their reflections. So notice every time I gave a grade to a student, it puts a little check by the student's name. It also lets me know that this has not been returned to the student. See, here's what Google does. Whenever you place a grade, it automatically saves it. However, the student will not receive the grade until the teacher actually clicks return. When I click return, it lets me know how many students I'm returning work to, and if I want, I can send all 3 of these students a private comment at the same time, like "great job," or whatever I want to say. And when I click return, an email will be sent to the student letting him know that his reflection has been graded. And sometimes that takes just a moment. Going back now to the work page. Well, that took me back to the stream. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me just quickly go back to the work page. If I choose an assignment that involves a document, for example, this one, which is a journal practice, it's easy for me to see all the documents here by thumbnail, and I can just click on them in this window if I want to look at them. If I specifically want to look at Carol's actual reflection or journal, excuse me, I click on her name and then it's going to show me just her submission. Also, I can see the submission history, and this can become important if students are revising their work. So if you're returning their work with suggestions for revision and then they're resubmitting and then you're returning, then you'll see an entire submission history of those actions back and forth. So that can be very useful as well. Up here on the right is something I want to bring your attention to. There's a small gear icon in the upper right of your screen when you're in the grading screen. If you click on it, what will happen is it gives you the choice to copy the grades for this assignment to a Google Sheet. Now, what that does for you, and I really need to show you on an assignment that has some grades. So I'm going to choose a different one. If I click on the gear icon and send it to Google Sheets, look at this. What it does is it creates a sheet for you with every assignment you've made, a place for every assignment you've made, and every time you click on the gear and send it, it will send that assignment's grades to the sheet. It also keeps a running class average and an average for each student for you. So this is very convenient, a place where you can collect all the grades if you need to later on place them in another grading program like PowerSchool, the one we use. So, and this will be in your classroom folder and it will be there for you anytime you need it. It comes up in a separate window, so all you have to do is click the X and you'll be back on the grading screen. So it's really very intuitive and pretty easy to follow. So that's how you grade in Google Classroom, and I think that you will find it to be very, very simple and you will really enjoy it. And so gone are the days when a student will say to you, "I turned that in, you must have lost it." So that can't happen anymore. That's one of my favorite things about Google Classroom. So I send you off now to grade your own papers. Happy grading.